Thanks for joining me today. My name is Sean Egglestone and I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm going to show you exactly what I bought at the grocery store today, talk a little bit about how I grocery shop, as well as what meals I plan to prepare with these different items. Now, it's important to keep in mind I have a pantry that's full of whole grains and pastas, whole wheat pastas, brown rice, quinoa, and other staple foods that will help complement this. But I do go grocery shopping a few times a week. This is just the basic stuff that I like to get. This isn't everything that I'll buy in a week, but this will be all of the fresh stuff that I get every few days, and then I complement that with the dry goods that are in my pantry. So tonight for dinner, I'm going to make pizza. Now, I like to make my own pizza. I think it's more fun. I think it's easier. I think it's more affordable, and it's definitely more healthy. So if you haven't made your own pizza before, I highly recommend it. Now, one of the things I like to buy is I just buy the pizza dough. I don't make pizza dough. You could, but it's an extra step and it complicates the process. So having this in the fridge is really nice because I can grab it whenever I want to have pizza. Now this is a rosemary flavored and it's made with wheat flour as the first ingredient. Now there's no nutrition facts label on here, so I don't know how much sodium is in here, but I know that the tomato sauce that I put on it is, well, I use a tomato paste and no salt added tomato paste. I put vegetables on it. I put some nutritional yeast on it, some garlic, some herbs, we got basil, dill, whatever you like. And that way I know that the sodium for the meal is really only coming from the dough and not from any of the other condiments or cheese or anything else that might go on that meal. Now I do buy some spices. They have a bulk spice section, so this is just some dill. I use fresh dill for things like pasta salads, macaroni salads, Italian food. If I make a green dressing, so I like to make pesto, so I bought a huge thing of basil. And so I'll use this along with some kale from the garden, maybe a little bit of dill or other kind of rosemary, other spices, a little bit of avocado, some garlic, some onions, some nutritional yeast, some cashews, a little bit of water, and make a pesto sauce that I can use if I want to do a pesto pizza or I want to do pesto pasta or yeah, those are mostly, or I can make like a green dressing as well with a little bit of tweaks from the recipe that I just discussed. So this stuff is great. It's super fragrant. If you haven't cooked with basil, it's fantastic. I actually have some basil growing in the window back here, but I mean, this is just absolutely delightful, and this will make enough for a whole family of, you could probably make a family of 6 pesto sauce with that. Now I also got some cabbage. Why cabbage? Cabbage helps reduce your risk for colon cancer. Colon cancer is one of the top 3 cancers in the US, and cabbage helps decrease your risk for colon cancer. Now, anytime you get different fruits or vegetables, keep in mind the darker or the brighter the color, the better it is for you. So, for optimal health, a purple cabbage would be better than a green cabbage, but since I'm going to be making a pesto sauce with the pasta, I was kind of going along with this green theme. So I've got some snap peas in the garden, I've got some broccoli here, and I've got some cabbage. So now the dish is going to be a green dish, and I think that's kind of fun. Just keep in mind, if you do cook with purple cabbage, it can make some of the other foods in that dish purple as well. So we also got broccoli, again, part of the brassica family, great at reducing your risk for colon cancer. Now, one of the great ways about eating this way, as you can see, I've got apples, pears, eggplant, bananas. You'll notice this is the only thing on the table that has a nutrition facts label. And one of the major, there's a fly around here, one of the major subjects that people talk about in nutrition is nutrition facts reading. How do you read a nutrition label? And that's where the mistake is. you buy the food that doesn't have the nutrition facts labels, because that way I know there's no added sugar, there's no added salt, there's no added fat. Uh, it's great. It's so much easier to shop this way and so much quicker because I don't have to worry about label reading. Now for this product, this is just a plant-based mayonnaise. If you've watched any of my other videos or been to my website, SeanTheRD.com, you'll know that I'm vegan, so I don't eat any animal products. Now for this type of thing, this is basically just says expeller pressed safflower oil, water, brown rice syrup, apple cider vinegar, pea protein, sea salt, mustard flour, lemon juice concentrate. So overall, not that bad in terms of the ingredients. It says it's soy free. I don't really care. We know that people that eat soy actually have a lower risk of breast cancer. So, but this is the only product they have in COVID. So, and the sodium here is 75 milligrams a serving, and there's no added sugars. I mean, so something like this is a great alternative. Keep in mind, if you buy regular mayonnaise or you buy this veganase, when I make foods with it, sometimes I'll mix a little bit of sriracha and put it on sandwiches or wraps, or I might use a little bit in things like my tofu egg salad or in pasta salad. I just use enough to make the food moist, to make the dish moist. I don't use a whole lot of it. I've seen some egg salad dishes or pasta salad dishes that look like they're swimming in mayonnaise. And the problem with mayo is it's basically fat is what it is. It's basically 100% fat. And it's not fat that's intact like nuts or seeds, grains. This is like oils and mayonnaise is made with eggs, and so I just use a little bit. I just use enough to make the dish flavorful, to make the dish moist so it's not dry, but I don't use a whole lot of it. So something like this, a little small jar, this is 16 ounces. This will last me 2-3 months. I've got some bananas. I've got different kinds of pears. One other thing that you might notice here is all the different colors. We've got greens, we've got yellows, we've got reds, we've got purples. So all the different colors, it's fantastic for your health. These colors help protect the plants from the sun. That's basically why plants generate these different colors, is because it helps protect them from the sun. And so when we eat these foods, we take in those antioxidants and we use them to protect our own body. So it's really a fascinating process. I've got some green onion here, just switching it up. It was on the half off shelf. I've got some onion. This is like the largest yellow onion I have ever seen. I also got a purple onion, so depending on what you like. Now remember, the darker the color, the better it is for you. So the purple onion is going to be better for you than the white onion, but it doesn't matter. Just eat the onions. And then I got some cremini mushrooms, or these little button mushrooms. The nice thing that I like about cremini mushrooms is, of the mushrooms in the grocery store, they are the cheapest, the most affordable. So when we look at all this food, I try and average out about $2 a pound for food. Most of the pears, the peaches, the nectarines, the onions, the bananas, the cabbage, maybe even the broccoli are all right around $2 a pound. The mushrooms are going to be a little bit more expensive at $4.50 a pound, and the basil a little bit more expensive, and the dill a little bit more expensive per pound, but overall I'm averaging about $2 a pound. So that, I hope, is helpful for you. This is what I bought. Again, in my pantry I have my grains, my pastas, so I'll incorporate them with these fresh foods. So most of my dry staples are packed away. So if you want to see a video on my pantry, I have a few floating out there, but if you want me to go over all the other foods I have in the house, you can post a comment down below and I'll make sure to put that video out for you. I hope you found this useful. Stay healthy, my friends. Cheers.